My dearest cadets, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are well at your respective houses during this corona pandemic. This corona pandemic, this is such a situation which the world has never seen before. Everything is stopped, but your beloved alma mater, Borishal Cadet College, has arranged online classes for you. I hope you're going to be largely benefited from this class.
Dear cadets, without much more delay, I'm going to move into today's lesson. You know me, I am your Bulbul Gaji sir, lecturer in English, Borishal Cadet College. While preparing this lesson for you, I consulted mainly these three books. One is English for Today for classes 11 and 12, prescribed by National Curriculum and Textbook Board. Another one is Cambridge Advanced Learners Dictionary, which is a fantastic dictionary. You should try it. And then Oxford Practice Grammar. And this lesson is meant for you, class 11 boys, and the unit is report writing. This is a very interesting topic. You're going to enjoy it, and this is very important for you also. Let's have a look. Have understood correct? Today's topic is report writing. This is a very important topic for you. It comes in your board examination as well as academic examination. So after this lesson, you will be able to describe what news report is, describe types of report, describe types of reports, describe techniques of report writing, explain the basic elements of a news report, and finally write news report. What is the news report? A short account of the news, that is in a nutshell. The report of its speech, the story was on the 11 o'clock news, the account of its speech. These are some examples. Now, types of newspaper reports. Hard news, the traditional news that includes crime stories, political stories, education news, city council news, etc. Then comes sports news. Pretty self-explanatory. Sports news includes news about sports world. Feature news. Feature stories profile individuals for organizations and tend to be written in narrative style rather than traditional inverted pyramid or martini glass style of other news. Feature stories focus on the people aspect of the story rather than simply answering the 5 W and H question. Next, columns or editorials. Columns and editorials are often separate from the rest of the newspaper because they are opinion pieces. Columns are personal opinions about whatever topic the columnist writes about, while editorial consists of the collective opinion of the newspaper's editorial board. Now, part of the structure of a news report. But before, I think you should get back to the previous slide again. Here we have got basic 4 types. Remember, these are not the final type of newspaper reports because there might be several other types, but these 4 types, hard news, sports news, feature news, columns or editorials, these are the basic primary types of news. Now, structure of a news report. Headline. First, here you can see Bangabandhu is a role model for Asians. Byline and place line. Here you can see Shamsuddoja Sajin. Lead, the first introductory paragraph. We will cover this in the coming up slides, and description and conclusion. So, dear cadets, these are the basic structure of a news report. Without these elements, a news report is incomplete. We must remember these are the basic elements of news report. Headline. Headline should be accurate, clear, and easy to understand. Use keywords from the story and keep it straight and plain. Use active and short action verbs in your headline. The headline should accurately lead readers to what the report is about. The headline should be attention grabbing, but not exaggerate or mislead. Remember, the headline should accurately lead readers to what the report is about. The headline should be attention grabbing, but not exaggerate or look at this. Trump presidency in turmoil. We have some other thing for headline. Capitalize the first word of the headline and any proper nouns after that. Here, there is no proper noun. So only one proper noun we have here. That's why capitalization in T. If you are having trouble coming up with a headline, you might try writing it last instead. It may be easier to think of a headline after you have finished your article. Sometimes you may feel quite complicated. What should be the headline? So if you can't decide, then you may actually write the headline later on after you have finished your story, finished your report. Look here, Trump presidency in turmoil. For example, your headline might read armed robbery at Portland Farmers Market. I think headline section is covered up well. Next, the byline and place line. The byline goes directly underneath the headline. This is where you put your name and clarify who you are. This is important. The place line is where the article takes place and is written in all caps. Remember, in all caps. This is important. That means all should be in capital letter. Use AP style state abbreviation. An example of a byline is Sue Smith, staff reporter. Or you can say Khalid Nafiz, staff reporter. Here in this report, in the right side picture, Shaheen Mullah and Muhammad Shahnaz Khan Chandon. So this is the byline and place line. Next, lead. The most important part of the report, the lead of a news article is the first sentence, usually written as one paragraph. Remember, one sentence written as one paragraph. One sentence, I repeat, one sentence written as one paragraph. When writing a lead, it is helpful to use the tell a friend strategy. Imagine you had to sum up to a friend in one sentence what your story is about. How would you sum up quickly what happened? A story's lead answers the 5 W's question in a specific order: who, what, when, where, why. Remember, this introductory paragraph or lead describes the whole report in one sentence in one paragraph, including the answers of 5 WH questions: who, what, when, where, why. The opening paragraph should be concise, explain the full story in as few words as possible. Even if someone reads no further, they should know what has happened. So usually what happens, taking the newspaper in our hand, what we do, we just go for the headlines first. If it attracts us, then we go for the lead or introductory paragraph. Here example, the Atlanta Police Department will hold a memorial service Wednesday at Holy Christ Church in Buckhead for fallen officer Lieutenant James Montgomery. Here the basic 5 Ws question: who, the Atlanta Police Department, what, will hold a memorial service when, Wednesday. Where, Holy Christ Church in Buckhead. Why, for fallen officer Lieutenant James Montgomery. Now, inverted pyramid. This is important. We talked in the beginning slides. News articles are written in a structure known as the inverted pyramid. In the inverted pyramid format, the most newsworthy information goes at the beginning of the story and the least newsworthy information goes at the end. Remember this picture. The most important fact at the beginning and then the rest part. After you have written your story's lead, order the information that follows in terms of most important to least important. There is no formal conclusion in a journalism article the way there is in an essay or analysis paper. Remember, boys, this figure, this is inverted pyramid. Now, integrating quotes. The first time a source is introduced in an article, you should use that source's full name and title. After this initial reference, use the last name only. For example, the swine flu vaccine is an incredible advance in modern medicine, said Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. When attributing a direct quote, always use the verb said and never any other verbs such as explain, whispered, etc. It is also more common to use the format triple X said instead of said triple X. So what is the main point here? When you are quoting someone, which is very essential in news report, you must, for the first time, you must use that person's full name and title. Example, the housing crisis is growing out of control. Bernanke said, not even when information from a source is not used in a direct quote and is paraphrased instead, it still must be attributed to that source. For example, Bernanke said the recession is probably over. The recession will most likely begin to recede in 6 to 8 months, Bernanke said. So this is important. Now, the most important part of a news report, which is interview. Conducting interviews. Who you interview will depend on what you are reporting on. You will want to get a broad range of quotes for your report. So try to interview an array of people. Good people to interview are event coordinators, lawyers, police, business owners, volunteers, participants, and witnesses. If you need to find people to schedule interviews with them, use the internet to find contact information. You can also interview people directly at the scene depending on your news report topic. If the story is controversial or political, make sure to get both sides of the issue. Now, dear cadets, this is an important part. Your report is mainly focused on getting good marks in an exam. And while evaluating examiners' scripts, what the examiners look for the first time is the interview. If your report doesn't include interview, then your report is not complete. Prepare sample question, but not necessarily stick to them. Think of an interview as a conversation. Record the interview. Make sure to get the full names of anyone who interviewed. Dear cadets, remember, this is very important. The putting interviews in your report. Now, attributing information. All information in a news article must be attributed to the source where the reporter got his or her information. The reporter must indicate in his or her article where material was obtained from: an interview, court documents, the census, or website. Direct quotes and paraphrasing can be used to attribute information obtained in an interview with a source. Whatever the format is, the reference must be given. For example, according to a police report, remember, according to a police report, the suspect threatened the cashier with a gun before running away with money. In a 500-page government report, investigators reported evidence that the army had committed crimes against humanity. Okay, so the reference should be given. Now, the last part of your report, concluding comments, you might question, sir, in your early slides, you have told that there is no conclusion in journalism. So remember, boss, I'm not talking about conclusion. I'm talking about concluding comments. As a neutral person, when you are a reporter, you must prepare the report and you must give something to the audience, a final summation, not conclusion. I hope you have understood the very well. Now, after this discussion, you might ask, sir, what type of question may come from this topic? And here is one basic question. Write a report on recent rise in the use of social media. Another example, write a report on the devastating effect of COVID-19. Now, dear cadets, if you have any question regarding any of the points I have discussed here, please feel free to ask through the comment box. You know, I will be there to answer your questions. Now, your homework. So we have covered how to write report, what are the parts of report, and what are the types of reports. With that knowledge, I'd like to ask you to prepare a report on the effects of recurrent flood on the overall development of Bangladesh. Thank you, dear cadets. Now, you know, as I have told in the beginning of my slide that how serious the situation has become for COVID-19. So, dear cadets, the only way to keep you safe from this viral attack is to stay home and stay safe. So I urge upon all of you